YouTube, guess who made it back finally? All right, so first off, it's good to be back. um that's it, good to be back. Anyway, anywho, let's get straight to it. um First off, what I want to do with this video, I think I'm gonna do a lot more about videos this way. Maybe we'll see. uh I'm gonna ask you all's opinion on this, but I want to just kind of want to stick with doing maybe one or two fragrances at a time, um, and keeping the video in short format. Not necessarily shorts for that matter, but I don't want to, continue with the top 10, top 7, or I want to steer away from that. Um, while at the same token, I don't want to hold you up for 20 minutes talking about one or two fragrances either. So with that said, I'm gonna try to find a nice little balance, time, video, but probably stick to one, two, maybe even three. Who knows? We'll see. But let me get your suggestions in the comments. Anyway, on this video today, I'm going to talk about a fragrance that I haven't seen too many people talk about. Actually, I haven't seen no one talk about this fragrance except for Sebastian. Check out his channel, The Perfume Guy. He's the only one I've heard speak about this one. Not saying that he's definitely the only one out there, but that's the only one that I could find. With that being said, this is a fragrance from a legendary house. The house that I'm speaking of is none other than the house of PENHALIGONS. And today we're going to be speaking about Legacy of Petra. It's a gorgeous bottle. All right, so with this fragrance, the reason I actually purchased this fragrance is because, for one, the bottle's nice, but I mean, look at that one more time. But that's not the only reason. Actually, it's because one note in particular, a note that I tend to shy away from, which is licorice. That's a note that I'm not that fond of. And I wanted to try to get some kind of licorice in my collection. Most fragrances that I've smelled with that accord, if it's very prominent, it happens to be just one that I didn't care for. This, on the other hand, this was a blind buy, but I looked up the notes, read some of the reviews that people said, and it struck me kind of interesting, especially when I read that vanilla was in it. Now, for those that know me, vanilla is probably my favorite note. So just looking at the notes that was in this, I believe it said, I want to say olibanum was in this, no myrrh, benzoin, licorice with those notes. It's just struck me that this might be done correctly. Not to mention, it's from the house of PENHALIGONS. To date, I haven't smelled a PENHALIGONS that I didn't like, so that had a lot to do with my choosing this one. But let's get straight to the fragrance. So when I say the licorice in this, that's the most prominent note by far, but it's not a candied licorice. It's more of licorice in its original form, a black licorice, not like Twizzler. Like, I don't want people to get it construed with eating Twizzlers. It's nothing like that. But that is the most prominent note. But there is a sweetness here. The sweetness definitely offsets that. Now, mixed with the benzoin and myrrh, to me, I get more of a burnt peach. I don't want to say burnt. Let's just say charred peach. This gives me a charred peach, a vibe to it. If you were familiar with the House of Argos, Triumph for Bacchus has a peach accord in it, and that accord stands out. Gorgeous scent. I love that one. That's what this strike me as. It gives me that kind of peach vibe. Nothing like Triumph for Bacchus. Do not be confused with that, and especially with the color of the juice. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that. Triumph for Bacchus is a tobacco scent. This is not a tobacco scent, though it is quite smoky. I can say that the myrrh in this does give off a smoky kind of vibe. I don't believe there's any tobacco in this. I don't get tobacco either. It don't make me think there's tobacco in this, but I do get a smokiness. And when you first spray this at the top, there is some ashiness to it. It's kind of brash. One thing I do want people to do is don't smell this from the cap and make your judgment right then and there. You have a good, I would say a good 2 minutes, not even that, maybe a good 40 seconds. But this might come off harsh, a little, the smokiness with the ashy vibe. And again, charred peach, that charred does stand out, especially in the beginning. But once that go away, you're left with a gorgeous, gorgeous vanilla style of fragrance with a licorice note in there. I believe bergamot is in this also, which I don't pinpoint bergamot. I'm not going to say I pinpoint bergamot, but you do get the fruitiness up top. Would you know it's bergamot without reading it? Probably not. At least I didn't. I can't judge for you, but for me, no, I wouldn't have picked out bergamot. Business casual, easy. Date night, easy. I wouldn't call this a office scent. Could you pull it off at the office? Of course, I would. I would definitely wear this. I would wear this anywhere I go. Can you wear it as far as the dress code? Any dress code would match this scent. That's what I do like about it. Even though you could tell that this was probably meant to be more dressed up, you can actually dress down with this one, and you can't go wrong because of how subtle it is. When I say subtle, I don't want you to think that I mean it sits very close to the skin, because it doesn't. Now, it's not a loud projector, but it has a perfect balance as far as the projection and the sillage. The sillage is definitely there. The projection, I would say, within arm's length. I sprayed this on, I say around 2:30, 3 o'clock. As of right now, it's probably around 9 o'clock p.m. and I still smell it easy. I don't have to put my arm up close. Actually, I didn't even spray my arms. I actually just sprayed two. So I did 6 sprays, 2 on each side and 2 on the back of my neck, and I still smell it perfectly. So again, it's not a very loud fragrance. This style, I wouldn't want it to be loud anyway. So this has a perfect balance as far as projection and longevity. So again, from the house of PENHALIGONS, we have Legacy of Petra. I think this would be one you should try out. I'm actually feeling this one. This is my scent of the day. So I'll probably give it another one. I actually wore it yesterday. I'm wearing it again today. I might give it one more go tomorrow. We'll see. I do have another new one that I want to check out, but that's neither here nor there. Again, from the house of PENHALIGONS, Legacy of Petra. Check it out. Thank me later. Till next time, again, hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Until next time, I'm out.